Hey guys, welcome back to Take a Little Coffee Break. Today we have a very special conversation with our Enneagram 4s. This blew my mind. It was just so different than what I thought it was going to be, and you're going to hear me have a realization in the middle of it that I might have been a 4 growing up. It was like a mind-blowing thing. And you'll see once we get to it. But this was so fun. Just so special. I really love it. I think it made me appreciate 4s more, and I think it will for you too. So I want to tell you a little bit about them. Type 4s live primarily in their imagination and in their feelings. They may be artistic, sensitive, creative, articulate, and inspiring, or moody, elitist, and self-absorbed. The core fear of a 4 is being inadequate, emotionally cut off, plain, mundane, defective, flawed, or insignificant. Their core desire is being unique, special, and authentic. Their core weakness is envy, feeling that they are tragically flawed, something foundational is missing inside of them, and others possess qualities that they lack. And their core longing is you are seen and loved for exactly who you are, special and unique. So here is our really wonderful conversation with our Enneagram 4s. So, okay, this is what's cool. Anthony, we don't know each other, but I was thinking, how did I find him? Because I follow his photography page, Joy. And I was thinking, how did I find him? And I remembered that you were one of the people that I really wanted to do my wedding, because I found you on Instagram. And so
that means a lot to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, yes, because I'm very picky. but I was looking through Instagram and I was like trying to look for photographers, and I saw your page and fell in love with it because the only reason I didn't go with you was I think you were maybe like out of my budget or something, which was fine. But it was I remember coming across your page and instantly knowing this is like the perfect lifestyle photography that's not forced and like super natural, and you can just tell and you can tell when a photographer is authentic in their work. And I saw your pictures and fell in love with them, and I'm still in love with your pictures because I've seen like the stuff that you've posted and stuff. So that's how I know you. That's how I like found out about you, was through Instagram, actually. And then your wife interviewed me for the Christian women thing that she was doing. Was it for her dissertation?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a
Okay.
lovely conversation.
That's
I
good.
really liked her. I was a little nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't even like, I said yes because I was like, sure, like whatever, I think that'd be cool. But I was like, what kind of questions am I going to be asked? Like I was so nervous, but she was so lovely. And yeah, so I guess I've always admired you from far away because I think you're so cool. And
It
you're
means
in
a
the
lot to
Austin
me.
area?
Yeah, we're in San Antonio.
Yes. Okay, yes. San Antonio. And you were in Waco before this
Yeah.
for a while. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like 2 years-ish. Yeah.
Yes. I remember you posting a lot and saying that you wanted to get out of there.
I hate Waco. Don't ever go.
Yeah, there's nothing there, man. What were you doing there?
You've got Magnolia, which I never went to, which I felt very proud of never going to. And that was about it.
Yeah. Why do you think it was just so hard for you to be there?
Just being away from home. That was the first time I've ever been away from San Antonio.
Oh man,
Lived in San
yeah.
Antonio my whole life. And I don't have a lot of friends, but I value the friends that I have. And so being away from the friends, like it wasn't like I'm bored tonight. Let me see if my friend's working, at his bar and go hang out with him for the night. I couldn't do
Yeah.
that. It was just me and my thoughts,
Mm.
which led to me telling my wife to like, hey, maybe we should get therapy because I need someone to talk to and I'm super depressed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was just mostly just being away from the norm for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Joy, I know you, but I feel like we don't really truly, I feel like, know each other. And the reason I say that is because for you, Anthony, you don't know this, but like my husband and I, we actually work for a Christian organization called Chi Alpha. So we're missionary, I guess campus missionaries. That's what our title is. And
Okay.
so I grew up in Houston. I went to college at Sam Houston State University, and then I met my husband through my then roommate, because she was from the Valley, which is like down south by the border, like McAllen, Edinburgh area.
Mm-hmm.
And then last July, we got married and moved to the Valley. So Joy lives here, and she was a part of the same organization and all that good stuff. So anyway, so I know her because of that, and like we moved, and we were kind of like, I guess, acquaintances, right? Like we just kind of said,
Yeah.
hey, what's up? We should get coffee, and like never happened.
Yeah, I'm
But
sorry about that.
if you kind of want to like introduce yourself and just kind of yeah, like what's
Yeah.
your story? And then
Well,
you're
hi.
in Corpus now, right? You just
Yeah,
recently moved.
I just moved to Corpus about 3 weeks ago, so fresh here. Um,
A
yeah,
newlywed.
I just got married too 3 weeks ago. So we like we got married on Saturday and then we moved on Sunday. So just totally, I don't know. I'm crazy. I guess I like new things. So, we're out here by ourselves pretty much, but we're having a blast. Like I love it. I've got one friend and I'm content with one friend. It's kind of weird, but
Is
maybe
that
it
a
makes
four
me a
thing?
four. I don't need a lot of
I
friends.
have like 2 or 3
Yeah.
friends, so
Is that like a four thing? I
Every
wonder.
four, my brother's a four also, which is kind of weird how we both ended up fours. But
Yeah.
I'm a four wing three. He's a four wing five. But so
Ah.
I like people a little bit more than he does. But we're both very content with little friends. But as long as they're like you said, Anthony, like if they're valuable friends, like they're lifelong or they're really loyal. So, anyways, I got one friend here and I'm happy. But it's been cool navigating. I'm a teacher. I teach 7th grade English, which is a blast. I love English.
Oh.
So it's been my like little creative outlet at the moment. So I never thought teaching would be creative, but um, I guess I make it creative. I make it fun for them, and we were like 5 days into teaching virtual, which is extremely hard. I'm like not necessarily teaching. I'm just teaching kids how to like copy paste on a computer, like how to like
Oh no.
exit a browser is terrible. Like, yeah, they don't even know what a URL is. It's like I'm just teaching them like computer pretty much. But like 4 days in, they're like, Miss, you're my favorite. I'm like, I don't know why, but cool. That's awesome. I'm like, I'm glad you like me. That's cool.
I love
So
that.
I teach at a pretty rough school, which last year I taught at a private school, and I just felt like I was rough for them. Like I was a rough kid that was just like I just wanted attention, so I would like cause trouble and get kicked out of class, and just I wasn't bad. I just liked making people laugh and just doing inappropriate things to get attention, like just making fun of people and stuff. So I teach at a rough school, so I love it. I'm like, oh, I was you when I was little. Like I just wanted to just be different and just, not go along with the flow. So those kids kind of tug at my heart, and I like those. So I teach at a pretty rough school, but I love it so far. A lot of teachers are like, I would never teach there. I'm like, I freaking love it, dude. It's the
Oh
best. Like
wow.
the kids they're gems, dude. They really are. They're really cool.
And they need somebody like you, because
Yeah, they
some of
they
my
do.
most like influential teachers like changed my life were English teachers. So that's really
Same.
cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I love my job right now, which I never thought I would be. Um, I guess yeah. So that's kind of me right now. I'm
Yay.
teaching, and I'm married, and I'm in a new city, and just living life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for wanting to do this. This I've been yeah, I've been doing this for a few weeks now. I started from the 9, which I'm a 9. So that was fun, kind of like starting off getting to know people like me. And then it kind of went down. So we're down to the 4s now, which I'm really excited about because I don't know much about 4s. And so I'm very pumped to just hear y'all out and like what you guys are like, and I'm super interested in that.
Cool.
All right, so my first question for you guys is, how did you find out you were a 4, and what was your reaction? What did you feel?
So I found out I was a 4. I actually mistyped the first time. So that's actually
Really?
pretty funny because it happens to a lot of people. Yeah.
Yes.
I was mistyped as an 8 when I took the test. I took like the Enneagram Institute test. And when I started reading about the 8's, like core desires and stuff, I was like the driven part, yeah. Here and there, like I would get passionate about things. But I retook it, and then that's how I found out I was a 4. And when I read like the core desires and their fears and what they long to hear, it really did resonate, and it felt a little bit too exposing. Like I had a hard time reading it just because I felt like it made me uncomfortable to feel so seen, because that's like
Yeah.
I'd never felt that before, like to be so understood and read about myself on a screen or like a piece of paper. It just felt really exposing. So yeah, but it at the same time it was exposing but yet beautiful to finally feel seen. So it was like a
Yeah.
little bit of mixed emotion there for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. That's usually what people say when they discovered their number. They're like, "Yeah, I was a little freaked out."
Yeah.
I don't know if all of that. Yeah, that's awesome. Anthony.
Um, so I've heard about all these different like personality tests and stuff, and I think I took them. I'm gonna like totally botch the name. Something Myers,
Oh,
something
the
or other.
Myers-Briggs.
Myers Briggs.
Yeah.
And that was just like so time consuming. I hate doing surveys and stuff. And I don't remember what I wound up being, but my wife got into the Enneagram and she kept telling me about it. And she was like, I think you're a 4. I think you're a 4. And so this is like 2 years ago. So I don't know anything about most Enneagrams. I'll just be quite honest because I just know about me and her. So we started doing couples therapy in Waco while we were living there. And one night, I know I was drunk. I don't remember if she was, but it was the night before we had our next therapy session,
Mm-hmm.
and she kept talking about the Enneagram, and she had uh, got this book from a friend of one of her friends that she was going to school with that wrote a book on the Enneagram. And the person who wrote the book was an Enneagram 4. So
Okay.
she read the whole book, and I remember that night she just started reading me the Enneagram 4. She's like, you just listen. Just listen. And everything she was reading, I was like, how dare you? How dare you? You don't know me. And I felt very offended. I was like, no. Well, I mean, yes, but no. And so anyway, after she read that whole thing, I was like, I mean, I'm offended, but that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And then she read me hers. So she's a 2.
Okay.
So she read me her, like that chapter on the 2. And I was like, yep, that's you. And
Wow.
from there, like, yeah, we've just kind of like, our relationship has just become very good after learning about each other, just because we know what each other's needs are. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's how I got into it. But yeah, I don't know very much about the Enneagrams, which I feel weird talking about Enneagram.
No, I mean,
But
usually people only know about their number. I mean, I only recently learned about the other ones because of this podcast. Because I'm like, well, I should really research before I like interview someone. So, but yeah, it really does help. I know that it's my so I'm a 9 and my husband's a 7. So it really has helped us. And a 7 is more, I'm sure you don't know about the 7 but like the 7 is more like the fun one in the group, and like they're usually like the life of the party, but then there's so many things layered in that with like he can be an introvert sometimes, and he does struggle with like expectations of other people on him and like all this stuff. And so it has helped us. I totally agree with the marriage thing. It's helped us for sure learn how to love each other better, and just like why we do the things that we do. And like, because a lot of something that I've learned through this process of interviewing people is that different numbers can have same behaviors, but what's different is the motivation behind them. So we could all be like, if we're stressed, we shut down, right? But we may have different reasons why we shut down. So I think that's so interesting, and it really has helped me kind of, instead of me being like, you're being lazy, then I can say, oh no, you're actually not, you're just overwhelmed because of blah blah blah, or like ABC, whatever. So it's really, really cool, and it's helped us understand each other better. Do you know what Bobby is, Joy?
He's actually a 2 also.
Oh, oh my gosh, you guys are both married too.
So
Yeah,
he cares too much, huh? About everyone else.
Oh, he does. And it's funny because I don't know if you know this, Anthony, but the 4 is their growth number. So when they're healthy, they take on higher qualities of 4s. So there's like this balance that happens in there. We go to 1, so we become more like less controlled by our emotions and more stable and disciplined, which is hard for us because we get wrapped up in our thoughts. So 2s are forced to like grow into becoming more reflective and introspective. And so, yeah, I've seen that in my marriage too, and in our relationship in general, just like how we push each other to our growth numbers. And so it's been pretty cool. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
That's so interesting. I love that you guys are both married to 2s. I love it.
This is going to make the conversation much more interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, so tell me everything you struggle with. Let's compare.
I know, right?
So annoying when they do that. So what do you think is your favorite part about being a 4?
My favorite part has to be my emotions and how deep they feel. And I know like it's definitely a blessing. It is a curse at the same time because I just feel everything like just so like passionately like in my bones. Like I feel anger. It's like to the extreme. But it's probably my favorite thing just because it helps me like live and like be in the moment. And also like it helps me kind of understand people when they feel sadness or they feel sorrow. Like I can go to that dark place with them, or when they're really happy, like being able to rejoice with them and like feeling what they feel. I think that's probably my favorite thing about being 4.
Wow. Do you agree with that, Anthony?
Oh my God, this is crazy. Yeah. Like 100%. It's so crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, so I mean, so you sent us these questions and I didn't want to think too much about it. And I also didn't look up or listen to any previous episodes because I wanted to be an authentic 4.
Nice.
I love that.
I like it. I actually didn't either because I was like, nah, like I want to just do it raw.
Yeah, I just want to feel it.
Hey,
I'm not gonna go.
You guys are the first. You guys are the first number not to do that. That's incredible.
Yeah,
No, I didn't click on anything. Like I was appreciative that you sent me the link, but I was like, I'm not clicking on any of this. Like, I'm going in
We're
just
rebels.
yeah. So
I love this.
um, I mean, that's what I love about being a 4 is that attitude. And
Of
I mean, I've
authenticity or like being unique.
yeah, like that's what I love about it because I've always felt like that, like as a child. Um,
Mm,
and I mean, growing up, like I've always felt like that. And so learning about it now that I'm 36, I learned it when I was 34, and it just all pieces together. And
wow.
yeah, I don't know. It's just that's what I love is like kind of be able to feel all these things, but like Joy said, like it's also a curse. And so me and my wife are, well, we're living with my dad at the moment. We're taking down our debt, which we've been doing great at. And
Yay.
it's been exciting. But
That's awesome.
during the past 3 days, our AC went out.
I know.
And
Oh.
Worse in Texas.
Oh
oh
man.
my God, it's been like or it was like around 92 degrees in the house. And so my wife was taking this really intense 2-day exam, and she got back on Friday, and right before she came home, I texted her a screenshot of the thermostat, and I was like, just a heads up, the AC is out.
Oh
So she
no.
walked in, and immediately she says, I'm getting a hotel. And
Yes.
I was like, I'm not going to ruin, like, she's worked really hard for this. I'm not going to say anything. I want her to have a good time because the whole idea was the last day to celebrate.
Oh yeah.
And so the day after our hotel night, she was thinking the AC would get fixed the next day, and I was being the pessimistic for going like, no, it ain't. And so like we got into our little argument of like, she was like, well, I want to stay, and I'm like, well, I feel guilty because my dad's still there, but I also feel guilty because you don't want to be there. And like I just had all these emotions going on.
Yeah.
But we were able to talk it through each other because she understood, like I just I'm just very open about my emotions, and I also understood her emotions, and we were able to talk it out and kind of
Wow.
work through it. And so
Yeah.
that's what I love about being a 4 and understanding about being a 4, and also understanding at least my wife being a 2. I don't understand all the other
Yeah.
Enneagrams just yet.
Yeah. I think that it even helps you with your photography and like the way that you take pictures. Um, because when you kind of feel out, like let's say you're doing a couple session, kind of feel them out, exactly what to do. And I think that might be a part of why you're such a great photographer, other than just having talent, and and like having an eye for it. But I think that might even play into like your ability to feel and to even feel other people's emotions, kind of like Joy was saying, like know how they're feeling in that moment. I think that helps with photography so much more than people think.
I hope so.
Yeah, I feel like I see that in you.
I mean, yeah, I really do feel people. One of the last weddings that I did before the pandemic hit, I showed up, and the wedding coordinator was freaking out, and she told me that the groom lost his wedding ring.
Oh no.
And so I calmed everyone down, and I was like, let's go see if my wedding ring fits on him. And I saved the day. Luckily, like our fingers were the same. And so
Wow.
he used my wedding ring for their wedding ceremony. And but it was all just because, yeah, like I feel those emotions. He was so stressed out, and she didn't know about it until right before the ceremony because I mean everyone was worried. She was totally cool with it, like she laughed about it afterwards.
Oh no.
But yeah, I mean, it's helped. And a friend of mine who's also a wedding photographer as well, he asks every couple what their Enneagram is, and that's something that I want to try and do in the future,
Yeah.
to be able to know how to relate even closer to everyone. I just haven't got to that point yet.
No, that's really cool. That's awesome. Oh, that's so
Yeah,
sweet. I'm so glad you what a coincidence that you guys had the same ring size. That's awesome. Okay, so now that we talked about what your favorite part about being a four is, what is your least favorite part? This is always fun.
Man, I don't think
Go
this
for it,
one was
Joy.
in the questions. I'm gonna have to answer this one like authentically. My least favorite part, man, I think, man, this is a hard one. I don't know, Anthony, you want to go first if you got something?
I'm gonna go first. It is exactly what we just talked about in the previous question.
I didn't want to repeat my
Feel
answer though.
No, you
I'm
totally
so
can.
much.
You totally can.
go for it,
It's
Anthony.
yeah, I mean, so when you sent those questions, I thought about that too. I was like, I struggled with those two specific questions because I was like, well, what is good about being a four? Well, it's
Mm.
because we feel things. What's good about being a two? Or what's bad about being a two? It's because we feel things. um, I mean, I think it's not a bad thing, but it can get in the way, I think, for me, because I get so passionate about like whatever is going on, that it can be a bad thing because I get focused on that one thing, and I kind of don't think about anything else. And I think it makes me almost one-sided at times where I'm
Mm.
like, just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
yeah,
just,
that
that's
makes
kind of
sense.
like my answer.
And you're not the only number that repeated that was the best and worst. It was like the same thing. You're not the first. So like, I'm sorry if that makes you feel not unique, you know, but I'm just kidding.
Okay, Anthony,
Whatever.
I'll
I'm
say this was
unique.
my answer. Yeah, don't worry.
No, still
I
unique.
I would say my least favorite thing, and I'm sure Anthony might resonate with what you said earlier. But my least favorite thing would have to be how comfortable I am in darkness. Um,
Ooh.
that's my least favorite thing about myself is like it's so easy for me to make my bed in the valleys of valleys. Like it's something that like it takes mentally to decide, am I going to choose hope or am I just going to be okay with being hopeless and broken?
Wow, that's deep.
So yeah, I think that is, it's hard because sometimes I'm like, it's just so comfortable, and it's like that's my least favorite thing because I think it's easy for me to be selfish and just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay here in this dark place. But yeah, it's my least favorite thing because I have to, you know, intentionally come out of that place and either seek help or talk about it, or, you know, come out of that place for other people and stop thinking about myself.
Wow. That is so profound.
I
But
love
I
that.
love that. Do you feel do you resonate with that?
I um I resonated because I feel it. Um
Yes.
but like I'm the opposite where like I actually embrace that dark side. I love that dark side, and I feel like that's kind of like what made me who I am, but
Mm,
it's also what's pushed me away from others. And that's
mm,
also why I love my wife. Like she's the only person who's accepted me. Everyone else has tried to make me something that I'm not, and that's just not like what I'm about. Um
yeah.
I've I've just always had this dark side to me, and I still do to this day. And she's the only person that really understands it and accepts me and makes me feel like I don't have to always be in that dark place. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I feel it, but yeah.
That makes sense because you have somebody that kind of reminds you to like of who you are. And so yeah, I like that. Love that.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. What do you think makes you feel most loved as a 4?
I feel most loved when I can have like an authentic conversation with someone. Like when someone is genuinely asking how I'm doing. Like genuinely, and like makes eye contact and is like how are you? And like doesn't get afraid. I saw this really funny meme that was like 4s always overshare. Like you ask them how they're doing, they'd be like, man, like I thought about like hurting myself this week. And everyone's like, what? But like I'm just so ready to go there. Like it's just
Yes.
I'm just so ready to go to like that deep dark places with people. I'm like, yeah, like I feel that doesn't scare me. And I think that's what 4s, we just like embrace the darkness. And it's just like, yeah, so I feel most loved when people are like willing to go and have those hard conversations. I'm like, yes, this is authenticity. This is what I love. Like I feel loved when others are not afraid to have those hard conversations too. Like just real friendship, real authentic quality time. Makes me feel so loved.
I feel like 4s and 9s make good friends. Guys, we should hang out more because as a 9, I think we're known as being like good listeners, but also not afraid because we're not judgy. Just not afraid of going there too, of just like listening. Like I love that too. I don't like it when it does kind of like there's a difference. I feel a real difference whenever somebody's like, how are you? And I know that it's just like, they don't really care. Then somebody who's like, no, when somebody asks me twice, no, really, how are you? That means the world to me too. And it's just that realness that it could almost like not be found very often. So I totally get what you mean. And I feel like with 4s and 9s, it's fun because I feel like you would just have like a never ending conversation, which honestly, like just even this right now, I feel so comfortable because it was like, I now I know it's because you guys genuinely wanted to get to know each other. And if it was any other number or just a different personality, it's like, okay, like, yeah, like let's talk, but I'm only going to know this person for like 30-45 minutes and like let's move on. But I think what makes this like not awkward, because I feel like I know you guys, but like I feel like now where it's like, oh, like we're friends. And it's because you guys were so willing to go there. Like Anthony, you like literally like one of the first things you talked about was your marriage, and like so it's just really cool, like just kind of opening up in that way. I totally see that, and I love that. I love it, and it's just made my job easier, honestly, because this is awesome and not awkward at all. So, yeah.
We
Anthony,
can make it awkward if you want.
Huh?
I said we can make it awkward if you want.
I'm like trying not to be awkward.
Please don't.
Right
Yeah.
I'm like,
I really want people to like this episode. Anthony, what do you think?
They don't need to like it. They don't need.
Oh no! I mean, as long as you're unique and
it would
different.
make me happy if they didn't. Honestly, okay.
Who cares?
I liked all the episodes, but number 4. Then you would think is a win. Only you would embrace the darkness.
Embrace the darkness. Okay. What?
Like, wait,
what was the question?
What makes you feel not appreciated as a 4? I mean, did I say most loved?
Most loved, yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. What makes you feel most loved as a 4?
What makes me feel most loved? The connections, for sure. The connections. So I'm the guy at the party that, like, if I have to do all the small talk, like, I just don't give a damn. I'm trying to like censor myself because curse words just come out of me all the time. But I just don't care. Like I will just walk away and talk crap about them afterwards because I'm like, that's stupid. And that's also why, like, the friends that I've had for, like, I think the few friends that I have now that are super, super close, like, I've known them since I was about 15 and like 18, like between those years. And like they've been through all the ups and downs of my life, and I really appreciate them. So yeah, for me, it's the friendships for the most part.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
I don't know.
that's that.
Yeah.
And it's all about, it's kind of similar to joy, the connection and the realness of it. Because there's a reason
Yeah.
that your friends are still your friends. So that's really cool. Okay, so like on the flip side, what makes you feel not appreciated or not loved as a 4?
For me, it's when my efforts and passions, like, they go unnoticed. So
Mm,
like I'm pouring myself into something, and I get a reaction that is like, okay, cool. Like, I just poured my soul into this, and like just going unnoticed and being kind of like, not, I guess, not being recognized for like how hard I'm trying. Like, it's not that I need affirmation, but I don't like being ignored, especially like when I'm trying and when I'm like pouring my soul into something. So, um,
yeah.
yeah, I think I would say that would make me feel unappreciated. It does in my job, like if I'm trying really hard. And I'm learning to like not care what people think. Which I think is also something for struggle with, is like just not caring. Like, we're just not gonna care. Um, so I think,
But you do
yeah,
care.
but I like deep down care, and when I tell people like, man, that hurt my feelings, it's like, what? I would have never guessed. I'm like, I know I hit it, but like it did. It hurt me. I'm gonna go home and cry about it by myself.
Aw.
But so I think, yeah, I appreciate I appreciate, like, because we have so much empathy, and we take the time to like see people and meet them where they're at, and so when that's not reciprocated, it just hurts. It
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
First off, I love that you have multiple people in the interview, and it's funny because I'm like, yeah, that's exactly it. Um,
No, I mean, that's
so
really, I think that's the
it's
point of the podcast at this point, because every number has been like, yep, yep, but they have their own way of kind of like articulating it. But yeah, it is.
yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah, I mean that's kind of the same thing for me. It's like, cool, I did this for you. Why don't you like it? Like, I spent all this, like, I don't know. I'm someone, like, I guess more on the creative side. So when I do things for people, like, I'm spending some time to like put some thought and effort into it, and if the person doesn't really get excited about it, like, it brings me down. I'm like,
Wow.
I spent all this time and you don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's so heartbreaking.
I think it's because we like purposely try to be unique. We're like, you've never seen anything like this before, and I know you haven't. And then when we get like like, what? It's not unique. Like, this should have blown your mind. Like, and it's like it didn't, and it just hurts because then we don't feel like like, it's not that we didn't impress him. It's just that it wasn't unique enough to get that reaction, and that's how. I don't know if you
That's
resonate
so
with that.
interesting. I
And
love
then it
that.
messes up like the next few months of your life.
You're just like thinking about it every day. You just replay it. Yeah. Well, we
Yes.
live in the
Yeah.
past. We gotta we tend to live in the past. We gotta like forcefully like let it go.
And then your
Yes.
spouse has to hear about all the trouble, the
Yeah.
struggles and troubles you're going through.
There it is.
Your
Yeah.
Uh,
spouse, that's a 2.
Yes.
For both
Who
of
yeah.
you.
cares? Who cares?
But then they feel you, and so they like put their all into you, but then they're not giving. Yeah.
It's just
Amen,
a
dude.
cycle.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
cycle.
the artsy part of the 4, I love that. And Joy, you don't know this, Anthony, but she sings. She's a singer. And you play guitar, right? Or piano.
Yeah. I play both.
Keep like piano and guitar, right?
Yes. I
Yes.
do.
True
Yes.
four. True four. She
Yeah.
does
Yes.
all.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
love it.
prefer to. Yeah, I'm a musician, but I think my art is really in my writing, which nobody knows about. But I'm a poetry writer. I love poetry.
I love poetry. Maybe I'm a 4. I don't
You
know.
know, that's the common mistype. Nines and fours. They mistype a
Interesting.
lot. Fun fact.
I'm gonna
The
have to
Enneagram is my the Enneagram is my hobby. So yeah, you're gonna get a little fun
Okay,
fact
but do
there.
you answer me this because you said the answer me this. Is this a thing? Okay, I don't know, but um, what you said that when 4s are healthy, they become 2s
They become one.
once. What happens when they're unhealthy?
They become twos,
Oh,
actually.
oh, wow.
Yes.
I was expecting you to say 9
Yes.
because then it would make sense. But okay, maybe
Yeah.
I need to go back. But
I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, we take on low qualities of twos.
interesting.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
connected.
Um, but yes, yeah, because it's so funny because like I'm a singer and I play guitar and I love photography too. I just don't do it professionally. I just like it's a hobby and sometimes I do it for people and so I feel like I could be a 4, but I don't think I am because I um I I think for me I don't know if I want to always stand out. When it happens, I think it's fun and I don't mind it, but I don't feel like they need to be unique always or like stand out always. So and then also I think that comes with 9s like hating conflict. So if I just don't want to feel like I'm like ruining anybody's day because I'm taking the spotlight. Like that's me. That's like, oh no, like so so maybe I'm not, but maybe I could be. I don't know. I have to read into it. I don't know about 9s and what I go to. I don't when I'm unhealthy or healthy. So anyway, this isn't about me. Again, I'm like okay, so do you think you've always been a 4? Or do you think that it's shifted sometime in your life? And you guys obviously didn't hear the other one, so I've explained it before. But so what I mean by this question is like, so for me, I really do think that I was, who knows, maybe I was a 4, but I always thought that maybe I was like a 3 or a 7 growing up, because I was just. I was a dreamer and I still kind of am. It's just more suppressed now, but like things that people have said to me as I grew up kind of made me retreat. And I think I became a 9 in that. And just barely like not too long ago, I think I've become a healthier 9. So I think I was very unhealthy for a long time. But anyway, I think my numbers shifted as I grew up. Do you think that was you or do you think you've always been a 4?
So are you referring to the soul child theory? Do you know what that is?
No. Okay. Enlighten me. Please.
I don't know what that is either.
The Enneagram is like my hobby. So the soul child theory is that your growth number was what you were when you were little, but then you experienced like your core desire was not fulfilled. So I actually know the day I became a 4 because I was born a 1. So you're born, your growth number, and then you go through a very like traumatic event or like something happens to you, and then you shift to your now number as an like. So it happens as you're a child. So you can't type children because they haven't settled into their official number yet. Fun fact. It's called the soul
Interesting.
child theory. Yeah, Sarah Jane Case. She does Enneagram and Coffee. She has a
Yes.
whole podcast on the soul child theory. Go listen
Oh.
to it. It's gonna wreck. It's gonna blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. It's so good. So yeah,
Wow, I didn't
what
even know about this, and I've literally been asking every person. So now I know what to call it. It took for me to talk to a 4. Like literally, I've done all the other numbers, getting closer to the end. Okay, so what do you think
soul
you had
child
that?
theory.
What was your soul child number?
My soul child number is a 1,
Okay.
and
Oh yes,
I
yes.
was so ones. Their longing is to be good. They want to be like morally good and kind of almost good enough and like to please. So I remember I was in kindergarten and I had auditioned to kind of sing at a recital. I mean, granted, I'm like, what, 4 or 5 in kinder? And I sang in front of the whole class. And my teacher's reaction was, you're good. You have a good voice, but you're not good enough. You're not the voice we're looking for. You have too much of a church voice.
You
And then
were
she's like,
5.
I was like 5 years old,
Oh
but this
no.
this crushed me. Like, it crushed me.
Wow.
And so since I wasn't like myself, who I am good enough, I thought to myself, well, if I can be different, I need to be different in order to be good enough, in order to make it, in order to be seen.
Wow.
So that was the day I became fourth in gender.
I
Yeah.
feel like I'm in therapy. I think maybe I was a 4.
That's what it's like to be a 4.
Every
Wait.
day.
I think maybe I was a 4 because
I need to look at the chart, but whatever your growth number is what you were. Yeah.
I think
Whatever
maybe,
you were.
okay, I think maybe I was a 4 because I was always thinking that I was different and that I had all these like cool like skills that nobody else had. And then like little comments here, I don't even think it was one moment. I think it was like little comments here and there where like I don't know, just kind of like made me retreat because I think people thought that I was so stuck up growing up, and I was like, oh no. And so I think that just made me oh my god, I just had like I just had like a moment. That's why I'm a 9. It's because
Yeah.
people were like, you're full of yourself. And so then that made me retreat because I don't like conflict. So I'm just like, no, like I'm not. And so then I'm like, okay, then I won't be as out there anymore.
Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah.
This is incredible. Anyway, do you think you were a different number, Anthony? Well, you don't know much about the other ones, but do you think that maybe what do you think about what we just said?
I think it's interesting that we're doing like a therapy session at the same time. I mean, I don't know anything else other than the 4s and the 2s.
Yeah.
And like I don't even know the whole thing about the healthy, 4s
Yeah.
and unhealthy wings and all that. I feel though that like I've always been a 4, just based on what I remember as a child. Because like growing up, like my parents divorced really young, or I guess when I was really young, and I went through therapy really young, because like I struggled through that. And then when I finally got a guitar at like uh, I think around like 5th or 6th grade, like I really wanted to be a musician, to like scream on stage and play music. That's really what I wanted to be as a child, was a musician and a rock star, so to speak. um, I would spend all my time in my room by myself playing music, and that was my happy space.
Yeah.
um, and so I feel like that's always like I've always been a 4 because of that. Like being able to create is still something that still resonates with me.
Yes.
And the relationships growing up in elementary and middle school and high school, I didn't have hardly any friends, but the few friends that I did have at the time always stuck up for me, and I really loved them for that. And since high school, I've had the same friends since then, and so I feel like everything like kind of like adds up to like, yeah, I'm a 4. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know anything about all the other numbers, so
Yeah. No, I mean,
who's
that
to
sounds
say?
about right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so so far all of the numbers have really like, obviously you've been like me too with like, because you're Forrest and you're like yes. But also this question is like, a lot of the numbers, most of them are like, yep. Like, and I don't know why out of all the questions, this one I'm like, wow, it's so interesting that everybody's the same. So I'm curious, like, how would you describe your most restful day?
Mine would have to be definitely outside in nature. Um, Nature inspires me in like ways I can't even explain. So definitely be outside. Um, Maybe, I don't know. I think back, I spent like 3 months in Montana, so I picture myself there, which
Nice.
I haven't gone there in like years, but that's like just being outside in nature. Definitely with no one there. Maybe my husband, but maybe not. That's not. I love him so much, but I just love being able to like think and not have to like talk. And definitely with like some sort of way to create. So if that's like with a canvas and paint, or like with a notebook and my favorite pen, or like just something to like be outside and get inspired and then create something, is like, oh, I love that. Cause like now that life is so busy, like I don't get a chance to do that. So being able to like create, and like that's just a restful day.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
For me, it's same thing. To some degree, like being being by myself, and it's also creating. Now that I'm a photographer, I love photography. Like it really does feel me. And being a kid that didn't really have friends, that was not cool, that was beat up as a child, and yeah, didn't really have very many friends, having to open up and become a photographer, I had to learn how to open up. And
Yeah.
so um I love when I'm able to be able to meet these random people that are like, hey, we like your pictures, we want to hire you, and relate to them
Mm-hmm.
to some degree. And I really, really love that, to be able to connect with these random people. Some of these people, like like I invited like 3 of my couples who hired me to my wedding,
Nice.
because I was like, I love you. I
Yeah.
want you at my wedding. Um, and so I don't know,
I'm still friends with my
that
photographer. It's a
good.
real and she's a 4. It's a
Oh,
real thing. It's
that
a real thing.
that explains it.
Yeah.
Even like something simple. A few months ago, our son finally learned how to ride a bike,
Oh.
and I was there to like film it on my phone, like as he like finally did it without the training wheels. And so I filmed the whole thing like as he was riding his bike, and then I came home. And as a typical 4, I had to make something out of all of it.
Oh.
And so I made a video of him riding his bike, along with God, what's the song? The one that it just goes, get your motor running, dun, 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 on the
I
highway.
yes. I think I know what you're
Yeah.
I love that.
so
That's awesome.
so so I recorded all this video on my phone, and then when I got home, I was so excited to make this video, and I like put this video together of him like struggling to get started, and then when he like actually started riding his bike, like that's when the music started. And then I had all this other footage of him riding his
Love
bike like the
that.
day of, and I was so proud of that.
Oh,
Like I
I
was like,
love
oh, I
that.
created this for myself, for him,
Oh,
for like the family. And so those like little things, like those little pockets of time when I'm able to create something not just for myself but for others,
yeah.
that is my most restful
I
time.
love that. I love that.
So
Yes. What's one thing that you would want people that maybe we didn't discuss, and you don't have to have an answer for this, but what's one thing that you would want people to know about being a 4 that maybe we haven't talked about?
um, I would want people to know that 4s, like, we need you guys to hold our hearts with 2 hands.
Uh,
Um, but we are not incapable of hearing hard things also. Um, like, just because we're sensitive doesn't mean that we can't handle the truth. But in fact, I'll always honor someone when they're being authentic and they're saying like real things and being real.
I love that. That's good.
I think Joy's much better at communicating. I'm I'm terrible, and I will
That's
just
okay.
rant. Like I will just talk and talk and talk. But she's much better at summing everything up, and I love that.
Thank you.
And so
Okay.
and so I'm going to say yes. I like totally 100%. We just feel so much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like and that's the thing, like, and it's a two-way thing. It's like we feel so much, not just on our end but on the other person's end, and we're kind of like taking everything in because we care.
Man, I love that. I love it. I love when people are emotional because I'm emotional. And a lot of times gotten judged for it before. So it's like I think there's a balance. I think there's some times where we need to control our emotions, but then there's some times where it's okay to feel. So yeah, time and place for everything. All right. So this show, it's called Take a Little Coffee Break. And I always ask this of my guests. And so even if they're not coffee drinkers, then I'll ask, like, what your favorite beverages or tea or whatever. So what is like your typical coffee shop order? Or if you don't drink coffee, like just beverage, tea, whatever. Like, honestly, whatever.
I love cold brew. Cold brew black. If I'm feeling a little extra, I'll like ask for a flavored creamer.
Nice.
But cold brew all day, every day. I love a good cold brew.
Yes. I
I
love
love
cold
like
brew.
I tell people it's like a kick in the mouth. It's the
Yeah.
best. I love it.
I
I love
love
it.
that. I love it.
I am not a coffee drinker.
Okay.
I think it tastes disgusting.
No, Anthony, you were doing so
But
good. No, you're so cool.
we were friends before, and now we're not.
So, are you a tea drinker? Like tea?
What's that?
Do you like hot tea or no?
I do like hot tea, like green tea, all the plain stuff, the cool kid stuff,
Yeah.
whatever. Like my go-to happy place is always just like a whiskey shot and a Lone Star, which is what I've been drinking.
Yes.
So like I'm just simple, like I don't need to impress anybody, because I'm a 4, and
I feel like a whiskey shot is the equivalent of the punch in the mouth. That's what I was saying.
It's still a punch in the mouth, just in a different way. It's cool.
Exactly, it's my own punch in the mouth.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I love like honestly just like a simple drink. My happy place is being able to just have a day to barbecue and drink my beer. Like that's my happy place.
What a Texas thing to say.
So Texas. I am so from San Antonio.
Yeah. Well, guys, this was so wonderful and lovely. I love this. I feel like I got to know you, Joy, so much better. Now I'll just go to Corpus.
Yes,
Let's take a trip over there. We'll have coffee for real this time.
yes.
But I feel like and Anthony, you're just so awesome, and I'm so glad we got to talk. And I hope we get to meet one day. And I don't know, maybe I'll maybe have a photo shoot or something. I'd love that. So
we'll do something.
Yes. Yes. So thank you guys so much.
Photo shoot,
barbecue,
a drink,
punches in the
coffee,
mouth,
whatever, punches in the mouth, whatever your poison is.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. And then Anthony, I will totally tag your photography page in the show notes / Instagram thing, so that people know where to find you. But
Same
thank you guys.
Well.
Thank you so much for coming on. Y'all are awesome, and this was so much fun. So yeah, thank you guys, and hopefully I'll see you guys again soon sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Erica.
Yes.